All right, I think we're live here. I always have a hard time scheduling these live views, live streams, because when I go and create the schedule it and I create the video, it doesn't put the stream key in there. And then I go back and look and I try to stream the live stream and I can't do it. So I have to go back and use the old stream and rename it. So anyway, technical things here. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight, and I'm going to be talking about some of the recent pickups that I've picked up here, and also talk about listening habits. How much time do you spend listening to an album? I think this is an interesting question to ask, because I think that especially people as they get older and they're used to listening to the same records, their favorite albums, that it's harder for people to get into new albums. And so I think that that's a problem, that people aren't open to listening to new music. And I think that that's just kind of a listening habit that we form, where we just listen to the same stuff over and over again. And I'm not like that. I do listen to my favorite albums. I do make videos on my favorite records, but I'm always open to new music. So I'm going to show you guys some of the new albums I've purchased that I haven't gotten around to reviewing yet. I'm going to talk about some new releases that I'm pretty excited about out of Bird Box Records out of Italy. So I want to talk about a couple of those releases as well. So I'm just going to wait and see if anybody finds the live stream. And if not, I'll just, do the live stream, and then it'll be up on the website for you guys to view later. So first of all, I want to thank everybody for coming by the BellisarioSonic YouTube channel and supporting all the wonderful artists and independent record labels that I'm able to feature on this channel. And so it really gets me excited when I see you guys come on the channel and say that you liked the album and that you went and you purchased it. That really makes me happy. And that's the foundation of this channel, is sharing good music with you guys, music that I enjoy. And although sometimes you guys don't like some of the things that I feature, and you leave your comments, and you're welcome. You're always welcome to leave your comments, whether you agree with me or you don't. So feel free to leave your comments. I love hearing from you guys. And I also love hearing from you guys when you give me record recommendations, which I'm going to show you a couple that I have gotten in this big stack here that you guys recommended that I pick up. And I haven't done reviews on them. They just came in. So I'm going to show you those. I do have a big stack of albums down here, vinyl records, and a bunch of CDs, mostly jazz. And I just haven't had a chance to get to all of them to review them. It takes time. I have a regular job. I have a couple of other things that I have going on as well, projects and things. But it takes a little bit of time to be able to put together these reviews. I like to at least do a little bit of background investigation into the album or the artist and give you guys a little bit of information. And then, of course, I love to play the music for you. And unless I'm doing a reaction video, which I do sometimes, where I haven't listened to the record hardly at all, when I do a review, I like to have myself be familiar with the record so I can pick out the tracks that I think are my favorite and share those with you guys. So today, though, I'm going to just go through all these records that are sitting here at my feet, and some of them are used albums and some of them are new. And I want to show you a couple of new albums from the Bird Box label. So let's dig in here. I picked up a few of like 4 used albums here recently. At the local record store, I picked up this Chris Connor 1956 album, which is absolutely fantastic. You listen to her vocals on here. She's a very unique singer. And that's one thing that I think we're kind of lacking in jazz these days, are unique singers. We have a lot of talented singers. We have a lot of scatters. We have a lot of singers that can bebop and go along, and very impressive, very talented. But I think that a lot of times what's lost is the connection of the singer to the vocal, to the actual lyrics of the song, because a lot of times they're not even singing lyrics. So Chris Connor very unique singer. This is a really cool album. This is actually a 1959 pressing on the London label, and it's like a second pressing. So I did pick this up. It was like $5 at the local record store, and it's in really good shape. So I was playing this the other night. Pretty cool album. I do recommend that. I picked up a couple of, I think, a very underrated saxophone player, alto sax player, Frank Morgan. Pretty much unknown. I mean, relatively unknown anyway. But he's played with numerous legends. And on this album here, this is really a fantastic record called Lament. And he's got Cedar Walton out here, Buster Williams, and Billy Higgins playing with him. This is a straight ahead bop record. And it's really a well worth picking up. And they're pretty inexpensive. I think I picked this up for like $12. So pretty cool album there for used. I picked up another one of his albums. This was about the same price. Maybe this was like $15. Very good shape. And Frank Morgan, Yardbird Suite. This is, again, straight ahead bop. Different lineup on this album here. You've got Frank Morgan on the alto, Mulgrew Miller on the piano on this one. The great Ron Carter plays bass on this album. And you've got Al Foster on the drums. So pretty cool album. And again, fairly obscure people. This is probably not on the top of people's list, but very good album. And Frank's a great player. So I definitely recommend those couple of albums. I picked up also another pretty much straight ahead album, the Rocky Boyd Quintet. This is a Japanese pressing. I picked this up on eBay, I think. And this was a little bit more money. This was like $35 or $40 from Japan. I had to get this one. Very good record, though. If you haven't listened to this, I would definitely recommend it. Go online, listen to it, and check it out, and then see if you can find one at a reasonable price. They're kind of hard to find, but definitely well worth adding to your collection. So, Rocky Boyd Quintet, Ease It. And I think this may be his only album. I'm not sure. You can look that up, but I think this might be his only release. I've got a couple of new ones here that just came in today. So I'll be reviewing these here coming up. This album here was recommended to me by a viewer, and they said that I should pick this one up. Evans on Evans. This just came in the mail today. I ordered this straight from Seamus Records, and this is Bill Evans' grandson. The kid's like 16 years old, and I listened to this online, and I was pretty impressed. So, I'm definitely going to do a review of this. This is a pretty cool album. And, yeah, I'll put when I put this up, I'll put a list of all the different albums that I think you should pick up new. So this one's from Seamus Records here, and it just came in today. So I'm looking forward to reviewing this and playing tracks off of this for you guys. And he's got a lot of, the classics on here, Periscope. For Nanette's on here, Time Remembered, Turn Out the Stars, 5, Waltz for Debbie, and Vicente Archer and Marcus Gilmore on this. So it's a strong lineup, and brand new, just came in the mail. Another one that just came in the mail that's a really cool album, kind of more of an avant-garde type of album, Josephine Davies. This is Sattery Weather Words. This just came in the mail today as well. So I'm going to be doing a review of this. Different kind of album. This is not straight ahead jazz. You've got a lot of different dynamics on this. It's more of an avant-garde type of thing going on. Very nice compositions, though. They're more well composed than perhaps the traditional avant-garde type of thing. But it's definitely got a modern jazz record. So I'm going to be reviewing this as well here coming up. Again, this just came in the mail yesterday. So there's several albums sitting down here at my feet that I've had for months now that I've listened to, but I haven't got around to reviewing. This album here, Helen Sung with Marquise Hill, this is a great album. I wanted to review this. I hope I can get around and have time to reviewing it. It's a very good pressing. This is an analog recording, and it sounds fantastic. There are a lot of low dynamics. It's just the two of them playing. And of course, Helen is a wonderful pianist. You've got Marquise Hill playing on here with her, and it's a fantastic album. This is on the JMJ label, and this is a 2020 release. So this is definitely one that I recommend picking up, and hopefully I'll get around to reviewing this for you guys. Another one that I have not got around to reviewing that is another beautiful record. Mikiko here of Bayashi, Weaver's Gifts. This is a fantastic album. Again, kind of more of a well composed, not straight ahead jazz. You've got an interesting instruments on here. You've got all the compositions are written by Mikiko, but you've got Frederick Linden playing the tenor and mezzo soprano saxophone. Mikiko is playing the piano, and she's a fantastic pianist. You've got Tommy Anderson on bass, and I always mispronounce these Swedish guys' names. Bjorn Hebal, drums and percussion. So a pretty cool album. I have yet to review this. I need to do it. It's been down here for like 6 months. I've had it for. So it's a wonderful album, and hopefully I'll get around to reviewing that one for you guys. I still pick up reissues, believe it or not. I don't buy a whole lot of them, but over the past year, I've picked up a few. And I think that they're important ones to have in the collection. This is the Verve Acoustic Sounds. Coleman Hawkins encounters Ben Webster. And of course, these are fantastic releases. You know, I don't need to say a whole lot about Acoustic Sounds for those of you guys that collect records, Analog Productions. This is definitely an awesome album. And again, you've got the beautiful packaging, and it sounds fantastic. It's one of these records I think that's required listening. So Coleman Hawkins encounters Ben Webster. And again, hopefully I'll get around to reviewing some of these reissues as well. I'm so wrapped up in the new stuff that's coming out that's what I focus on. And I think that's kind of what deserves attention, because these working artists don't get enough. They don't get enough attention, and their albums certainly should be selling better than what they're selling. Another one that I purchased on the same label, the Acoustic Sounds Verve series. This is, of course, required listening. I think every jazz fan probably has this in their collection. Cannonball Adderley Quintet in Chicago. And this is, again, you know, look at the packaging and just wonderful. So I've had these for probably 6 months down here, and I've listened to them. I just haven't got around to reviewing them. One thing I did want to talk about a little bit was listening habits. So how many hours a day do you listen to your records? Leave your comments, because it varies for me. Most days I listen to probably 40 minutes, at least one record a day, but sometimes I'll listen to a CD. I can't get this thing on. But I try to also listen when I'm doing other things. So like if I'm out on my afternoon walks or something like that, I'll take my earbuds and I'll stream new albums while I'm walking, and that'll be like an hour. So I can usually at least get one album in listening. So I think I usually get at least an hour's worth of listening a day. And then also I'll listen in my car. So when I'm driving back and forth to work. So I do get quite a bit of time in, but what I'm really trying to do is when I'm reviewing a record is being able to listen to it several times over again to really get the feel of it. And when I find these albums online that I decide that I'm going to review, I listen to several tracks, and then I decide whether or not I'm going to purchase it. And for every album like those that I choose to purchase to review, there's like 20 or 25 albums at least that I listen to that I decide not to purchase. Sometimes it's due to price. Sometimes it's in Europe or something, and it's $50 or $60 plus $30 shipping, $40 shipping, something like that. I've had to where it's like $100 a record, and it's just kind of steep for me to purchase at that price. And so sometimes I won't purchase because of that. But a lot of times it's just because a lot of the albums are kind of mediocre. So I'll, pick out the albums that I think stand out, or at least stand out to me as being kind of unique, kind of grabbing my attention. So as far as the ones that I pick, I do like to listen to them on streaming first, and then I'll decide if I'm going to buy them, and then I get myself acquainted with them. So when I do the review, I can pick out the songs that I think are the most, worth playing for you guys. This I picked up here. This is a second pressing of this. I am a Wes Montgomery fan. This Wynton Kelly Trio, Smoking in Seattle, is a great album. I missed it when it came around the first time. And so when I saw it in the record store about, 4 months ago, when it came out, second pressing, I went ahead and grabbed this. So this is definitely a pretty cool album. Let's see. I did a review on the Candace Springs Billie Holiday album, which I thought was fantastic. I went back and picked up The Woman Who Raised Me on the Blue Note label, and this is a wonderful album, and I want to get around to reviewing this one. I just haven't had time to do it, but this is a wonderful album, 2 LPs, and she is singing all of her favorite tunes by her favorite singers, so well worth picking up. When I had Vladimir Shafronov on back, it's probably been about 3 or 4 months ago now, we had a long conversation. And one of the pianists he brought up that I knew who he was, but I hadn't really listened to a lot, is Tete Montolu. And I have several of his records I purchased online that are reissues that have them coming. So they're on their way. So I want to do a couple of episodes on Tete because this guy is a fantastic pianist. And even though I had heard him just in passing, I wasn't familiar with his albums or anything. So when Vladimir said you need to get some albums by Tete, you need to listen to him because he's a very important pianist, and he considers him one of the greatest European jazz pianists ever. And so this album I bought called Songs for Love is fantastic, and it's just him playing the piano on his own solo piano. And it's just a beautiful record. And when you listen to this guy play, it's breathtaking. So I'm really looking forward to getting more from his catalog. And I've got 3 coming in probably, I think they're going to be here tomorrow or Saturday. So I'm excited about that. And speaking of tomorrow, I have my first episode called Jazz Discovery. So I hope you guys will tune in for that and leave comments. And what that series is going to be, I'm going to try to do it every couple of weeks. And what it is I'm going to play a track from 10 different modern jazz albums for you guys. So tomorrow is the first episode, so please check it out. Leave your comments. And the whole idea behind doing this Jazz Discoveries, that series, is to expose several different working artists to you guys. So that's kind of what I wanted to do, because again, I'm running into this issue where I don't have the time to review all these albums that I want to. So I thought, well, at least I can play a track off of, say, the Candace Springs album or one of these new albums. And I'll be able to play, what I'm doing is I'm picking 5 CDs and 5 vinyl albums. And I'm going back and forth between the turntable and the CD player. And I'm playing a track off of 10 different modern jazz albums. So I'm excited about that. Let me know. I hope that you guys enjoy that. Let me know that they're a little over an hour long. So it's kind of like a radio show. And I hope that people are going to like it. And I hope it's not going to be too long. And leave your comments and let me know. I'm always open to what you guys are interested in. How much time are you going to take to listen to watch a video? An hour of your time is valuable. And so I hope that the music that I'm presenting on those videos that are an hour long, which feature 10 different albums, I hope that it's going to be worth your time, that you'll be able to familiarize yourself with maybe a lot of albums that you have never heard before, and at least 1 or 2 of them will pique your interest. That's kind of the idea behind this new series. So it's called Jazz Discoveries, and the first episode will play tomorrow. So definitely tune in for that. And please leave your comments and give your thumbs up and let me know what you guys think. So let's see what else we got that I purchased. These are like over the last 6 months or so, maybe even longer, these albums I'm showing you that I've kind of just collected. And what I do is when I get them, I kind of put them down here on the floor, and then I kind of try to keep them in order to review them. But something always happens and I get something brand new in, and I end up reviewing that, and stuff gets kind of shuffled to the back. This album here, wonderful. I'm a big Art Pepper fan. I probably have 40 or 50 Art Pepper albums on vinyl, and I probably have 20 on CD. He's one of my favorite saxophone players. This album is freaking awesome. It's called Intensity, and this is the was originally on the Contemporary label, and this is a Kraft release. They've done a bunch of Kraft has done several of the Art Pepper albums, and they're all worth picking up. So yeah, let's see what else we got. I picked up I ran across this was on sale on Amazon, and it was like $11, and I was like, I went and listened to it. I was like, is this gonna be worth getting? And I played it and streamed it, and I was like, this is a really good album, and really cool cover out there with Betty Carter. This is a wonderful album, and originally on the Peacock label, but this is fantastic. And again, another unique vocalist that I really like listening to. You can't go wrong buying any Betty Carter album if you're into jazz vocals, because she's, when you talk about unique, listen to how she phrases when she sings. Incredible. When I first heard her, I had to go back and start the record over again. The first time I heard her, I was like, this is crazy. This is, a very unique vocalist. And again, something that I think we're lacking. We have a few great jazz vocalists that are singing right now, I believe, like Samara Joy, but there's not very many, like her. So definitely this is a cool album. Any Betty Carter album that you can pick up, I think is worth picking up. And I think if you're like musicality in a singer that really understands how to improvise and understands how to phrase and just do something unique, she's it. I picked up this one that I wanted to review. I picked this up probably 3 or 4 months ago in my local record store, Seasick Records, here in Birmingham, Alabama. And this is a one-step pressing. And this is on the Chesky label. And they've been doing several one-steps at very reasonable prices. Let me know what you guys think, because these sound fantastic. They're putting them out for like $35, and they're one-step pressings. The great vinyl. It sounds fantastic. Of course, Chesky's known for their audiophile quality recordings. This one's Larry Coryell, Badi Assad, and John Abercrombie. And this is an absolutely fantastic guitar album if you're into guitars. And I have yet to review this. So it's definitely on my list, and another one of those that I think is worth picking up. Another unique vocalist. I picked this up at the record show here a few months back here in Gardendale, Alabama. Twice a year we have a record show, and it's pretty big. It's probably one of the biggest in the Southeast. And this was one of the records. I picked up this in a John Coltrane album. It's down here somewhere. But this is called Torchy, and of course Carmen McRae is another one of my favorite jazz singers. And this one's kind of hard to find in good shape. I've been able to find them before, but they're usually really beat up. This one's got a little bit of a damage on the front, a little bit of crinkles there, but the vinyl is in impeccable shape. And so I picked this up at the last record show, and it's a fantastic album. Great late night jazz vocal album. Picked up a Ron Carter Pick'em a while back. And where did I get this one at? I can't remember where I picked this one up. It must have been the local record store, or maybe on my travels I picked it up. I can't remember. Maybe it may have been over in Carrollton, Georgia. There's a good record store over there called the Vinyl Frontier, if you're ever over there. Pretty cool record store. but I can't remember where I got this from. But this is a pretty cool album by Ron Carter. And I love Ron Carter, and his records usually are pretty cheap. This was like $5 or $6, and it's like brand new. And always interesting because Ron, you never know what you're going to get on his albums. He's so musical that he does so many different things that it's really a treat when you get this album. I'd never heard it before, and I'll buy his albums kind of on site. If I see them and they're like $5 or $6 and I don't have it, I'll pick them up. So, and it's impossible to get his entire, like if you're trying to collect his discography, he's got like 2,500 recordings he's been on. Another Betty Carter I picked up. I had this already, but the copy that I had wasn't the best. And so when I ran across this one for like, I think this was like $7. I think this one I did buy at the Vinyl Frontier over there in Carrollton, Georgia, I think. And it was like $7, but it's like brand new. And this is also a fantastic album by Betty Carter. So one of those that's, if you see it, pick it up. It's worth the $6 or $7. This one I picked up in Florida. Who's Afraid of the Big Band Monk? I picked this up. This was $10, and I picked this up in Brooksville, Florida when I was there visiting a friend. And I added this to my collection, and this is a double LP with Thelonious Monk with big bands. So pick that up. I recently picked up this one, which I need to review this because I think this is kind of one of those, I did that video on Sarah Vaughan on the Lost recordings, 1969 live at the Philharmonia. I did a review on that, an extensive review, because I felt that it was like pivotal and iconic for a vocal jazz record, like one that all singers should probably listen to because Sarah is in such top form. It's a live performance. She really has this unique phrasing, this grit, this character. And when I picked this album up here on the Verve label that just came out, it's a reissue, Sunny Side Up, Sonny Stitt and Sonny Rollins and Diz. This album here is kind of like one of those albums I think for me is almost like a standard, like setting the bar for what straight ahead jazz, is. When you hear Diz play the trumpet and Sonny, and both Sonny's playing the saxophone, that it is just intense. It's gritty. These guys are just going for it. They're blowing. They're not worried about everything being perfect. They are just making music and they're putting their heart and soul into it, in my opinion. And so I think that that's sometimes when you listen to, again, about all the reviews that I do of modern releases, there's a lot that I don't review. And I don't like to do negative reviews. So I'm not going to buy an album or even if, someone was to send me one and I didn't like it, I wouldn't make a review and say this guy sucks or this guy needs to do this or this guy needs to do that. I think it's more important to just be positive and put out reviews of what I think the great records are, and then make a point, like with this record, to some of the up and coming jazz players when they're playing, they sound too perfect. Does that make sense to you guys? Where it's almost like they're playing it safe. They're afraid that they're going to get a crack out of the reed. They're afraid. It sounds like it's just too safe. And the guys, these young and up and coming jazz artists are very talented. Even if, I listen to the record and I'll be like, wow, this guy can play. He's got chops. So most of these guys have chops, but that doesn't mean that they're great players. And so it's a difference between having chops and knowing how to use the chops musically. And what you get with these guys is they have the chops, but they know how to use it. And they're not afraid to take chances and kind of step out there and blow. So I definitely want to do this. This is on the top of my list for a reissue to do this review. All right, who do we have on here? Michael, your thoughts on the Rhino Hi-Fi announcement for the upcoming Coltrane 6-album LP set. Yeah, I did see that. That's definitely, I'll tell you, that's definitely one that caught my attention. There's a lot of these box sets I want to get. I just can't afford to get them all. And the Bill Evans one, I would like to get that one as well. There's a Miles Davis one that's coming out live at the Plug Nickel. That one looks interesting. So there's a lot of them, but there's no way I can afford to buy every single one. So I'll have to take a hard look at that one and decide what I can afford and when these come out and their availability. And one album, where's it at? One box set I just bought that I will share with you that I have not reviewed yet, that I'm going to be doing an in-depth review on. Where did I put it? Here. This went on sale, and I picked this up. And I love this album. I have this on CD, but this is the first time this is available, and this is the Keith Jarrett Live at the Deerhead Inn. And, of course, the second volume is in here as well. And I believe there's enough material for them to make even a third volume. But this was like $140. It was a bit steep because it's a slipcase, and you have 2 albums in here, and it's four pieces of vinyl. So for $140, I was like, I love to have it, but I'm not. It's just too expensive. They did a great job. ECM always does a good job with these pressings. They do nice heavy card stock. So I was like, well, if it goes on sale, I definitely want to get it. So I had it on my Amazon cart, and it went down to like $109. And I was like, I'm in. I'm getting it. So I ended up purchasing it for $109, and it's fantastic. It's worth $109, $110. So I'm excited about this. I'm going to be doing an in-depth review and playing several tracks off of this for you guys. So it's going to be one of those ones where you grab your beverage, kick back, and I'm going to play a bunch of tracks off of both of these. So yeah, I'm excited about this album, and I'll be reviewing that. So that's one of my box set purchases that I made. And I don't make that many of them nowadays just because, again, they're so expensive. But what I'll do is I'll put them in my cart, and if I see that it goes down in price and I've got the money, then I'll go ahead and purchase it. So this is the first time these are on vinyl, and this is incredible playing. I mean, I don't know if hopefully you're familiar with this album, but you know, you've got Keith, Gary Peacock on here, and Paul Motion, and these guys are just next level players. And when you listen to this, there's so much space for these guys to play, and for me, it's breathtaking. And you can listen to these over and over and over again and get something new with just 3 guys playing. It's not like you've got 5 or 6 instruments to listen to. You got 3 guys playing, and it's fantastic. So I definitely recommend that. Rhino's got a lot of interesting things coming out. I'll have to definitely keep an eye out. Most of their stuff's rock music, and I'm not buying a ton of rock music these days. But yeah, Coltrane is definitely an interesting one for sure. I was glad that Elemental Records put out this archival release, Art Pepper. Again, I'm a huge Art Pepper fan. This sounds fantastic. An Afternoon in Norway. And you got Art Pepper on here. Tony Dumas is on the bass. Carl Burnett's on the drums, and Milko Leviev is on the piano. And I really think this is a cool album. I love live albums. Even if the sound quality is not as good as some of the studio albums, I really like this. Too Good to Pass Up. Yeah, the record store. Exactly. So that's when I made the Record Store Day video, Michael, I agree. I'm going to pass up that plug nickel, unless you just can't afford the box set and you just want to get like a compilation of some of what they consider the best tracks. I definitely think that, that's one of the box sets I really want to get. So I'm hoping the Miles Davis box sets, they usually make quite a few of those. So usually you can pick them up, and they usually will go on sale at some point. So that's definitely on my list for sure. So, but I do recommend this. Again, this is a beautiful package. Elemental does great work with their jackets, and their pressings are good. So, yeah, I agree. This Record Store Day is going to be tough. There's like 4 titles that I'm really interested in getting. And the Roland Kirks look interesting to me. The Latif album looks interesting to me. And of course, the Bill Evans. Those are the 4 that really grab my attention. And I probably won't end up getting all 4. I'll probably show up to the record store like 2 hours 3 hours after it's opened so that I can get in there and kind of walk through quickly and pick out what I want. And there'll probably be only a couple of those left, whatever they may be. And those are the couple that I'll grab. And then if I see something later on in another record store, if one of them is still there, like last year, I didn't pick up the Bill Evans right away. And I picked it up later on at another record store. So I'm kind of a sucker for the Bill Evans. Even, sometimes I'm like, oh, another Bill Evans. But whenever I get them and I put them on, I always enjoy them no matter what. So I'll probably end up getting the Bill Evans if it's there. I did pick this up 2 days ago at my local record store. This is an unissued live set of Horse Silver, and this caught my attention. They had a 20% off sale at the record store that day when I went in, so I picked it up. So it was 20% off of the price of the album. And this, I haven't even listened to this yet, so I don't even know what it sounds like. I just got it a couple of days ago, and I'm gonna have to sit down and listen to this. And I'd like to do a review of this, but they did a wonderful job here with the gatefold and the graphics. The Blue Note always does a good job with their stuff. Yeah, you really can't say anything bad about them other than some of the Blue Note reissues. I think that some of the albums aren't so great. They're putting out stuff now that wasn't very popular for a reason. That's my opinion. You can leave your comments. Some of the Blue Note stuff, some of that soul jazz albums, some of those that they put out is not my cup of tea anyway, and I don't think they're very good albums. So, but again, they do a great job with their releases. Their pressings are great. Their packaging is great, and they do a good job. So I don't have anything bad to say about that. But anyway, I have to listen to this. I have not listened to this. And again, I just picked this up the other day. So what is your record store day buy list, Michael? And will you get them all? How much are you going to spend? I have a hard time spending, the $200 on record store day, $300 on record store day. It's tough for me to do that. This one I just got in. I was just listening to this album today when I was taking a walk today. This is fantastic. I don't know if you guys have seen this. This is on the Nonesuch label, and this came out back in 2018. I completely missed it. And I ran across it. I'm not sure how I ran across it, to be honest, but I think I was looking up something with Joshua Redman, and this album called Still Dreaming is fantastic. Ron Miles on here, Scott Coley, and Brian Blade, and all these guys are freaking awesome. Let's see what we got. The band Jericho. Yeah, I like the band, but if you like it, it's probably going to be a good release for me. The Chill Out, John Lee Hooker, I think that'll be kind of a cool album. I do like that album. Yeah, so those are good. This album here is freaking awesome. Love the complete Elektra albums. Yeah, that's kind of a cool box set, right? That's pretty expensive, I think. Anyway, this album here, fantastic. And this is kind of almost a free jazz avant-garde thing going on here, but there's structure to it. So you can hear kind of the head of the tune, but then they go off and do all kinds of crazy stuff. And these guys can all play. Again, you've got Redman on the tenor. You got Ron Miles on the cornet. Freaking awesome. Scott Coley's on the bass and Brian Blade on the drums. These guys are monsters, and this is a friggin' kick-ass album. I listened to this twice today on my walk. I was out walking for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and I listened to this 2 times through. So this is coming up. Review on this is coming soon. Curtis Mayfield. Yep, I got, I have a bunch of Curtis Mayfield original pressings. Sunvolt, yes, that would be one of the non-jazz albums that would interest me. One of them, that and the Joni Mitchell, probably interest me the most, the Sunvolt. But I have Trace on vinyl already. I'm pretty sure. It's been a while since I've listened to the Sunvolt, but I think I have that on vinyl. I have several Sunvolt on vinyl. If that one, I'm pretty sure that one was on vinyl before. Bill Evans, yep, definitely. That's, again, I'll grab that at some point. Jazz Dispensary, Green Bullets, I'm not sure about that one. Fleetwood Mac, that was definitely, you know, Fleetwood Mac fans are going to always, they're always going to sell whenever they put out these live Fleetwood Mac albums. So are you going to buy all of these, Mike, or are you going to get every single one of these? Yep, Roland Kirk's. So you got a big list. So yeah, this, I can't say enough about this. This is freaking awesome. And again, I completely missed it when it came out back in 2018. This album I've had for a year at least, maybe longer. And it's been sitting here, and I've been wanting to get around to review it because it's freaking awesome. I listened to this last night, I think, or the night before. Luca Manuzza Trio on the Venus label. Awesome album. Straight ahead trio here. You got Rollins tune on here, Jimmy Van Heusen, Jerome Kern. This is and these Venus records sound wonderful. The way he, whatever he does with the mastering on these gives it the high end, a unique sound. I don't want to say it's bright, but it has a unique sound. The way he does these records, Tetsuo Hara, he does all these albums. So buying 10 for sure, says Michael. Bob Dylan, the original Freewheelin'. See, I've got like a couple copies. I think I have an original copy of Freewheelin', and I have the, I want to say I had the original master recording of Freewheelin'. So that, yeah, that I got enough of those. But I wonder how that Dylan is going to sound, or who's mastered that, or what the deal is with that. So 10, that's a lot. That's a lot to spend. So that for me, that's probably going to cost you $500. But I do want to review this because this is fantastic. He's a great player. And I remember on the Bird Box label, if you guys remember, where's that? This Luca Manuzza album, Uneven Shorter, is fantastic. So it's only available on CD right now. I'm trying to get Lorenzo to put this on vinyl. There's a couple I'd like to have on vinyl that we don't have out yet, but this is one of the ones I would love to have on vinyl. And this would take like a double vinyl LP to put all this music on here, which is probably why it's on CD. Because you got 10 tracks on here and they average like 6 minutes a track, 5 or 6 minutes a track. So this album's fantastic, Luca Manuzza, but that brings me back to this album here on the Venus label that I think is wonderful, that I definitely want to do a review for you guys on this one. And I think, you know, these were on sale over on Elusive Disc for a while. These were like, I want to say like $20, and normally these Venus records go for like 50. Joni Mitchell, I definitely would like to get the Joni Mitchell one for sure. I like those record store day releases. They usually sound really good. That last record store day one that I got, the demos or whatever those were, it sounds like you're sitting in the same room with her. Yeah, incredible. All right, I do want to share with you guys a couple of new things on the Bird Box label. For those of you who love classical music, Lorenzo did a great job of recording this here in Naples, Italy. It's an organ recording, so if you're a classical music fan, you're probably going to dig this right now. I have the CDs in stock. You can pre-order the vinyl, and these are going to sound fantastic. The CD already sounds wonderful, so it's going to sound even better on the vinyl, I think. But this is a real beautiful package that Lorenzo put together here. And I definitely want to just let you guys know you can go to the link below, the Bird Box link, and you can pick these up. Wonderful if you're into classical music. Nice booklet. The booklet that comes with the vinyl release, I think it's going to be 16 pages. This is a 24-page booklet that comes with the CD, but as with Lorenzo, how he always pays attention to detail, he puts in here all the equipment that was used, how it was recorded, the microphones, all that kind of stuff. And this sounds wonderful when you hear the dynamics of the organ, how quiet it gets, and then it just raises up in the volume. It kind of blows you away. I was very taken back when I listened to this. So definitely want to let you guys know that that is out. And there is a new jazz release coming up called, I'm going to bring up a graphic here for you guys to let you know this is available for pre-order. It's called Space Light Color Acoustic Workshop, and this is a collaboration. Lorenzo, this was recorded back in 2011 or maybe 2018. I can't remember here. If we look here at the graphics I'm pulling up, this is a jazz album, and this is going to sound fantastic. I've heard some audio clips of this, and looking at the way this was recorded all analog, and then Lorenzo took it into his studio and mastered this, and this is going to be a really cool album. This is going to come out hopefully in December before the end of the year. So you can go pre-order these now. There's only going to be 300 numbered of this album. So, and again, Lorenzo collaborated here. This is all analog recording will be coming your way. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. Recorded on all analog tape, and then Lorenzo has taken this into the studio, and we're going to have, again, probably just another audiophile gem. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, with this, it looks like they're going to give you all the information on where the microphones were placed, you know, where this was recorded, what kind of microphones were used, what kind of tape is used, and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to this. And you can go to the website below, the Bird Box website, and pre-order, and I'll ship them out. I always keep you guys informed on when they're coming out. And so as soon as they get to me, I send them out to you. And I do appreciate you guys pre-ordering, because that helps me with the cost. These are expensive for me to purchase. And the shipping keeps getting more and more expensive. Last time, there's supposed to be no duty fees on vinyl records. Media is not supposed to have any duty fees. So they charge me like $100 duty fees, like $89 I had to pay to get the records out of hock so that they can send it to me. So, you know, by the time I pay for the records, I pay for the shipping, I had to pay my duty fees. It's very expensive for me. Even if I'm ordering, 20 albums, it can get quite costly. So when you guys pre-order, even if a few of you pre-order, it helps me out immensely to be able to have the money so that I can buy them. And then, when I get them in, I don't sell them all right away. So I do appreciate you guys supporting Bird Box Records. And I think that it's a wonderful label to support. So I got a few more records to show you. CD version of the Plug Nickel, $80 a CD version. Yeah. That's one of those. Would I buy the CD version of that? I guess I would. That's definitely one of those recordings I think is a real special recording to own by Miles, because it's one of those. That era is one of the gripping eras of Miles Davis, in my opinion. And so I would consider getting it on CD for $80 perhaps. And it'll probably go on sale. It'll probably be less than that. So I would guess. But I'd like to get the vinyl. The vinyl is definitely on my wish list. Couple of others down here. I did pick up. There's a couple of new ones. Let's see here. This is one of the other albums I picked up at the record show not long ago. This is awesome. Expression, John Coltrane. One of those albums that, again, you can listen to over and over again. It never gets old. Again, the character, the passion. And this one was in really good shape, so I was really excited to pick this up. I think this cost me, he gave me a deal on it. It was like, $40 or something like that. So I picked this up at the last record show, and I dig this album. So one of the albums I want to get, let me know what you guys think, is Ascension, the Coltrane Ascension album. That's really hard to find in good shape. at a reasonable price. They're like well over $100. And for some reason, Ascension is not usually reissued, which I don't understand why. So let me know if you guys know anything about that. Leave your comments. Why don't we see a lot of reissues of Ascension, and why is it so long since we've seen a reissue of that come out by itself? Let's see. I picked up this album from April Records. I like April Records because they put out kind of unique stuff. And some of it kind of falls into the jazz genre. Some of it's outside the jazz genre. This is kind of jazz slash, I don't know how to explain it. I'll have to play this for you guys at some point. But I would say it's kind of an avant-garde type of jazz thing. It's Andorra. And this is on the, again, April Records label. So for you guys overseas, this will be one of the ones you should be able to pick up. But I picked this up on Amazon, and this is just a cool album. It's something that's completely different. And I think that there's a lot of different textures and different dynamics and things that go on. And it's a pretty cool album. So I definitely want to review this. I just got this in a couple weeks ago. So this has been sitting here. Again, it's on my list to review. So couple more here to go. I'm really excited about this new record label that I discovered in Spain. This record label is called Swit Records, and it's SWIT. And this is an incredible pianist, Ignacy Terraza. This guy is smoking, and I will be putting out a review on Monday of the album he did with Purium Gin on CD. So tune in Monday to listen to this. This is kick-ass. This is live from Barcelona. And I'd never heard of Ignacy Terraza before. I'd never heard of Swit Records. I did a search on, online for jazz record labels. And I started scrolling through, and I saw this label, and I was like, I've never heard of this label. So I went on the website and started scrolling through, and lo and behold, I saw this come up. And of course, I know Purium Gin because she did her album on the Cellar Music Group, and she came on the channel and talked about it. So when I saw her face on this, I was like, who's she playing with? And lo and behold, she's playing with Ignacy Terraza, who is an incredible pianist. He's blind. I think he went blind when he was like 10 years old or something like that. But the guy smokes on piano. In this album here, this live one, I don't think it's available on vinyl, but this is absolutely fantastic, and it sounds incredible on CD. So go on Monday. You're going to want to check out this review for sure. But getting back to the vinyl, this was actually available on, I ordered that directly from their website, from the Swit Records website. I ordered 2 different Ignacy albums, and they mailed them to me from Spain. This one was available on Amazon. This is also a wonderful album. I just got this in last week, so I have not done a review on this. This is another one I have to get around to reviewing. But this guy can play, and I'm very impressed with this record label, what they have available. I would buy more. They're kind of expensive. I think these were, almost $20 a CD with shipping, so they're kind of expensive. But I got a couple of them, and this was on Amazon. I think this was like $35 or something. So I definitely recommend, if you see anything on their label. There was nothing that I listened to. I went through their website and listened to several different albums, and they were all very interesting to me. So definitely want to check them out. Swit Records. And again, tune in Monday for a full review of this album with Purium Gin. This is incredible. And again, it sounds fantastic. It's a live recording. It just sounds like you're sitting right there. Wonderful. I picked up my first, believe it or not, Jazz Dispensary album. I just haven't had the time to dig into their stuff. But this one, I was in the record store, Seasick Records here, the other day when I purchased that other record, and this was 20% off, and they were playing this, and I was like, man, this is really cool. Joe Henderson, Multiple. This is a really cool album. Kind of out there a bit. I really think it's a cool album, and it's my first jazz discovery or jazz dispensary album that I purchased, and I definitely want to review this for you guys. So, yeah, cool stuff. Let me know what you guys think on the Jazz Dispensary label. Which albums you like, or which ones would you recommend getting? Because I'm unfamiliar with a lot of the stuff that's on that catalog, to be honest. So, and it's kind of more far out stuff. So leave your comments on that. I want to hear what you guys have to say about that. I got a couple of more. So I had a Ty Chris on the channel last week or the week before last, and we talked about his new album Daybreak on the JoJo label. But I also went to his website. He has this band called Televana, and it's kind of a I don't know, kind of a Caribbean Latin type of jazz. It's fantastic, and I picked up both of the ones he had available on vinyl. So if you go to the review that I did of Daybreak, you'll see a link where you can purchase these as well. But I'm going to be reviewing these. These sound fantastic. These are just a joy to listen to. Great playing, great arrangements, and it just kind of has that Latin kind of thing going on. But great playing, and they're just like uplifting albums to listen to. So I'm going to be doing reviews of these soon. So stick around for that. And finally, last but not least, another recommendation by you guys. Well, let's see. Well, yeah. So I think it was Thomas that came by the channel and recommended Darius Jones, this album here. This, I didn't listen to much of this. So I kind of took Thomas's recommendation blindly. I went and I played like 30 seconds of the first track. It sounds like it's kind of out there, but I was like, this sounds interesting. In other words, you can hear a character just in that 30 seconds of hearing him play on the tune that I was listening to. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to do a reaction video on it. So I'm going to play this for you guys, and I'm going to give you my reaction because I really don't know what this album sounds like. Just a very brief listen. And so I purchased this. I think I got this off Amazon. I think. Or did I get off Bandcamp? I can't remember. But anyway, I want to do a reaction video on this Darius Jones album. And the packaging is nice. You know, it's kind of got like a matte finish, and it's the jacket's, you know, nice card stock and everything. And it comes with a regular sleeve. So I haven't listened to this yet. So again, my first listen is going to be with you guys. And then it does come with a liner notes, which is kind of cool. So I'll be doing a reaction video for you guys on this album. And I appreciate, again, recommendations by you guys is always welcome. And Thomas recommended this. And so he always has good taste in music. Most of the stuff that he recommends, I'm always happy with it. So, since I bought that, this one I definitely got off Amazon. This was one of his other albums. This one's called Flux Kit, and I have not listened to this one either. So 2 albums of somebody I'm absolutely, completely unfamiliar with that I'm going to be listening to based on Thomas's recommendation. And again, this is more of a glossy cover on this with the OB strip. And I think this stuff's going to be kind of far out, but I'm looking forward to listening to this. This one does have an anti-static sleeve with it. There are no liner notes. It doesn't look like on the inside. And on the back, you do have the liner notes. So those were purchased on recommendation alone. So we're going to listen to it together, both of these albums, and that should be a lot of fun. Finally, an album that I featured on the upcoming Jazz Discoveries episode coming up on Friday that hopefully you will check out. This album by Emma Rovich is absolutely fantastic. I really like her. I think she was on the channel last year talking about her album Chroma, and I'd like to have her on again because I'm really impressed with her dedication. She practices all the time, but she's so musical. And this album here is absolutely fantastic. I've listened to this like 3 or 4 times all the way through, and it's absolutely wonderful. So I played the first 2 tracks off of this on Friday, so check that out. I really like her. I think she's one of the bright up-and-coming musicians, jazz musicians in the UK, and she's always busy. She's always doing something, and just very musical. So I'm very impressed with her, and this is a really cool album. So you're going to want to check this out. And I think this is going to be one that you're probably going to want to purchase on the Act Music label. All right. Well, that's about all I've got. Flux with Strings. One of your favorites? Okay. Nice. Yeah, I haven't heard it, so I'm looking forward to it. And again, Thomas from the UK, he came on the channel and recommended picking up the album, so I'm looking forward to listening to it. As far as other, I definitely want to point out these, because I still have some of these left in stock with the Bird Box, this Alessandro Bianchini 10.5. MySpace 24, I'm out of them. Hopefully I can get a few more from Lorenzo here pretty soon. These are fantastic albums. So if you haven't picked these up, this 10.5 is fantastic. Alessandro is a wonderful vibraphone player, and these sound incredible. I do recommend this if you like kind of a Coltrane-esque kind of thing going on. Cristiano Giardini, this album smokes, sounds fantastic. These albums, I'm like, why aren't these selling out? Because they're wonderful. So these are in stock. I definitely recommend picking these up. I combine shipping, and I also do 10% discount if you buy more than one. And also the Francisco Dunia album. This sounds like you're sitting in the same room with these guys, and this guy's a killer guitar player. You have all the acoustic guitar and percussion. When I heard this, it blew me back in my chair, and I was like, you could reach out and touch the percussion instruments and the strings to get the guitar. You've got a lot of different stringed instruments on here, violin, bodhran, drum, clarinets, all kinds of cool acoustic. This is a really acoustic sounding jazz album, and you have a lot of things that are kind of sound like Django Reinhardt, kind of that feel and Mediterranean feel. This is really cool. So I definitely recommend these that you can pick up on the Bird Box label. So what else do I have? You guys have any recommendations? Anything out there? Anybody watching now that you recommend some brand new album, jazz album? Leave your comments over in the chat, or just leave your comments if you watch this later. There's a lot of CD reviews that I want to do, and I kind of try to fit those in, here and there, because there's a lot of great music that's only available on CD, and I'm the kind of person, I want the physical medium. So if that's the only medium it's on CD, I'm buying the CD. I'm not going to punish myself and not own the album I want to listen to because it's not on vinyl. So the music comes first for me. Of course, I prefer it to be on vinyl, but it's not practical for everything to be on vinyl these days, because with these record labels, it's almost unaffordable for them to put everything out on vinyl, because you have to at least make, probably 300 of them to make it worthwhile. And if you don't sell but 50 of them or 100 of them, you don't even get your money back. You have to sell like at least half to get your money back. So it's tough going for jazz these days. Tough to make a living. Tough for these independent record labels to make it. And so I do appreciate you guys supporting this channel and supporting the musicians and the record labels on this channel. That's what it's all about. So I will talk to you guys soon. Tune in tomorrow for the Jazz Discoveries episode. Please leave your comments, leave your feedback. Let me know whether you like that, whether you want to sit down and listen to like a radio show, a 1-hour radio show where I play one tune from 10 different albums, which is what I did. So, and they're all modern releases. They may not be ones that just came out, but they're like, within the last several years, all modern releases that I think you should know about. So, I appreciate you guys joining me. And I don't do a lot of these live streams. Let me know what you think about the live streams. I'd like to have some guests on to come on and chat with me. So if any of you guys out there want to come on with your webcam and talk about vinyl records and talk about jazz, let me know. Send me an email. You can find it easily on my website. You go to the Bird Box website or what have you. You can email me and let me know if you want to come on and have a discussion on your favorite jazz records or something like that. I'd love to do that with you guys. So anybody out there with a webcam and a microphone, if you're interested in coming on and talking about jazz albums, modern releases, or your favorite reissues even, let me know. We'll come on the channel, and I'd love to have guests on. So, all right. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me. Happy listening to everybody out there, and I will talk to you guys